In the last 30 days, Palantir has secured partnerships with a top 10 global bank, an AI integration firm, a mobility solutions provider, and a space technology company. What do these wildly different industries possibly have in common? It's a pattern that exposes Palantir's true business model. They all face massive, complex data challenges that traditional software simply can't handle. It's like trying to solve an impossible puzzle. There are companies drowning in information without extracting meaningful insights. These partnerships aren't random coincidences. I'm going to break down what these partnerships actually involve and why it completely contradicts what critics have been claiming about Palantir all along. What if I told you one of Europe's largest banks just partnered with Palantir, not to spy on customers, but to protect them? We're talking about Société Générale, a banking powerhouse with over 25 million clients worldwide, who's now working with Palantir to revolutionize how they combat financial crime. This partnership fundamentally contradicts the popular narrative about Palantir. Critics often paint them as data collectors building massive surveillance networks, but the reality of this partnership reveals something completely different. Société Générale is deploying Palantir's Foundry platform specifically for anti-financial crime solutions across their international retail banking operations. Imagine sifting through millions of daily transactions in real time to catch hidden patterns, like finding needles in a digital haystack. This is about analyzing existing transaction data to spot patterns that human analysts might miss, not gathering new information on customers. Foundry works like a master key, unlocking hidden correlations in the massive vault of financial transactions. It creates a unified view of Société Générale's existing data across different systems, countries, and currencies. Traditional software simply can't handle this complexity at scale. Foundry allows the bank to detect subtle patterns indicative of money laundering, fraud, theft, or other financial crimes by applying machine learning algorithms to this unified data environment. The system flags unusual transaction sequences and identifies connections between seemingly unrelated accounts that share certain risk indicators. Here's what's critical to understand. Palantir isn't getting access to Société Générale's customer data. They're providing the software infrastructure that allows the bank's own security teams to analyze their existing information more effectively. Traditional banking software operates in isolated silos, separate systems for fraud detection, KYC, and transaction monitoring that don't communicate effectively. These disconnected systems create massive blind spots that sophisticated financial criminals exploit. Their rules-based approach means they can only catch what they've been specifically programmed to detect. Financial crime has evolved dramatically in the digital age. Modern money laundering involves intricate networks of shell companies, cryptocurrency exchanges, and cross-border transactions designed to obscure fund origins. This complexity overwhelms conventional detection systems. With this partnership, Société Générale gains the ability to connect dots across their entire data landscape, seeing relationships and patterns previously invisible without compromising customer privacy or sharing data with outside parties. This reveals something crucial about Palantir's actual business model. They don't collect data, they help organizations make sense of their own data. They provide technological infrastructure that transforms raw information into actionable intelligence. The distinction is enormous. Palantir focuses on analysis, not surveillance. They address complex organizational challenges rather than creating privacy concerns. This banking partnership demonstrates how Palantir's capabilities solve real problems without undermining privacy, the exact opposite of what detractors claim. The banking industry has a dirty secret. Despite spending billions on AI initiatives, most financial institutions have nothing but a collection of disconnected tools producing minimal results. Palantir's joint venture with TWG Global isn't just another partnership. It's an attempt to solve the most fundamental problem holding back AI in the entire financial sector. This new partnership brings together Palantir's powerful AI infrastructure and TWG Global's deep expertise in business operations. The goal? To completely transform how AI is deployed across banking, investment management, and insurance. We're not talking about incremental improvements here. This is about rebuilding the entire approach to artificial intelligence in finance from the ground up. The joint venture brings together some serious heavy hitters. On Palantir's side, we have CEO Alex Karp, whose controversial yet visionary leadership has pushed the company into territories far beyond its initial intelligence community roots. TWG Global brings Mark Walter and Thomas Tull, but the most interesting player might be Drew Kuker, their Chief Data and Analytics Officer. Kuker's background tells you everything about why this partnership matters. He previously led the AI transformation at JP Morgan, where his work was so impactful that the bank became recognized as an AI leader for 3 consecutive years. But here's what's really fascinating. Before JP Morgan, Kuker was helping build the Pentagon's Project Maven, shaping how AI is used in defense operations. This is the guy who helped both Wall Street and the military revolutionize their approach to artificial intelligence. The financial industry's AI problem is pretty straightforward, but notoriously difficult to solve. Banks and investment firms have been pouring money into artificial intelligence for years, yet most have ended up with a patchwork of disconnected point solutions. One department has an algorithm for fraud detection, another has a separate system for credit scoring, and nothing talks to each other. The promise of AI, comprehensive, organization-wide intelligence, gets lost in the fragmentation. What makes this partnership different is its ambition to create what they're calling an artificial workforce. This isn't about replacing humans with robots. It's about building an integrated AI system that's woven into every core function of financial institutions. Instead of isolated tools, they're building a comprehensive ecosystem where AI capabilities flow through operations seamlessly. The specific targets of this joint venture are ambitious. They're aiming to transform compliance, which is currently drowning in manual processes and false positives. They want to revolutionize customer growth by creating hyper-personalized experiences. They're tackling operational efficiency, fraud detection, risk monitoring, credit and lending decisions, and even capital optimization. Pretty much every critical function in a financial institution. Perhaps the most important shift this partnership represents isn't technological, but organizational. In most companies today, AI initiatives live in the IT department. They're treated as technical problems rather than business problems. This joint venture aims to transfer ownership of AI from IT specialists to operational leaders, the people who actually understand the business problems that need solving. As Mark Walter from the joint venture put it, AI is no longer an add-on. It's woven into the fabric of every decision, every process, and every outcome, delivering tomorrow's competitive advantage. This isn't hyperbole. It's a recognition that artificial intelligence needs to be a core competency, not a bolt-on feature. What this partnership reveals about Palantir is particularly interesting. While critics continue to characterize them as a surveillance company, their actual business direction points elsewhere. They're not building systems to monitor people. They're building the infrastructure that allows AI to be integrated across complex organizations. Think about it this way. Most software companies build individual tools. Palantir is building the operating system that allows all those tools to work together cohesively. That's a fundamentally different business model, and it explains why they're finding opportunities in such diverse industries. The difference between building tools and building operating systems becomes crystal clear when you look at who Palantir is partnering with next. A company managing parking garages in Madrid and another tracking satellites in orbit have absolutely nothing in common, except for one critical problem that conventional software simply can't solve. Critics often limit Palantir to government surveillance work, but ISA, a Spanish mobility solutions company, and Voyager Technologies, a space technology firm, demonstrate how Palantir transcends these narrow categorizations. These partnerships showcase Palantir's versatility across vastly different fields. ISA has emerged as a leader in sustainable mobility solutions across Europe, managing parking facilities, optimizing traffic flow, and developing urban mobility services. They've integrated Palantir's Foundry and AIP platforms after an intensive multi-week bootcamp where they evaluated numerous use cases focused on parking management, sustainable mobility, and urban services. Their real-time road safety platform exemplifies this partnership's power. The system processes traffic camera feeds, weather data, vehicle sensors, and historical accident information, all operating in real time to make Spanish highways safer. This isn't about surveillance, it's about preventing accidents before they happen. The platform also enables dynamic pricing models that respond to actual conditions, helping manage unpredictable traffic patterns and turning complex data into actionable intelligence for city planners and drivers alike. From urban streets to space, Palantir's technology proves its adaptability. Voyager Technologies operates in a completely different domain, making sense of what's happening 250 miles above Earth in increasingly crowded orbital space. Space domain awareness, SDA, is becoming increasingly critical as more countries and companies launch objects into orbit. Think of Earth's orbit as a three-dimensional highway system without lanes, where objects travel at incredible speeds and even tiny debris can cause catastrophic collisions. Voyager and Palantir's system processes real-time radio frequency streams and imagery to detect, identify, and track orbiting objects. Their integrated system uses Palantir's AI and machine learning engines to transform raw data into actionable intelligence, crucial for national security. One fascinating aspect is how the technology enhances Voyager's defense solutions through in-situ signal processing, analyzing signals right where they're captured, rather than sending massive data back to Earth first. So what connects managing parking in Madrid and tracking objects in orbit? Both operate in environments where the parameters constantly change. They need systems that adapt in real time, integrating new data sources and responding to emerging patterns without extensive recoding. Palantir provides exactly this, not a surveillance tool, but an operating system for complex data. It's the technological infrastructure that allows organizations to make sense of massive, disparate datasets regardless of industry, whether optimizing urban traffic flows or tracking thousands of objects in space. Most critics and investors still don't understand this fundamental point. They evaluate Palantir through outdated frameworks, asking if it's a defense company or a commercial software company. The answer is neither. Palantir has created something entirely different, a platform that solves problems existing in virtually every complex organization, regardless of whether they're tracking cars or satellites. So what's really driving Palantir's remarkable growth trajectory? Forget the noise about surveillance and data brokerage. What we're witnessing is a fundamental shift in their business model that many critics completely misunderstand. Palantir isn't just another tech company. They're building the digital infrastructure that organizations desperately need but can't create themselves. Think about the partnerships we've examined, from financial crime detection to space domain awareness. These represent massively complex data problems that conventional software simply can't handle. While competitors still focus on specialized point solutions, Palantir has constructed an entire operating system for the most challenging data environments. As we look to the future, imagine these technologies powering transformation across every industry. It's time to reconsider what Palantir truly represents, not a surveillance company, but the architectural foundation for our increasingly data-driven world.